So how does anybody ever end up, being a product marketing, product launch person, and so I thought I would jump on and kind of give you guys just a quick overview of my own story, how I ended up, getting started with the seven-figure product launch process. And I didn't start out as a marketer, all right? That's something that I probably didn't think I was ever gonna be. um, Growing up, I've always been kind of uh, inventive. That was, my thing. I really admired the inventors like Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, the Wright brothers, people like that. Like people that are tinkering away and making cool machines and cool products. So I was a product person, uh, an inventing type of guy, but I wasn't a marketing person. Like that wasn't in my sphere. I didn't even know what marketing was. I didn't even know that after you create something cool, you actually gotta market it. But I had that product. That was my focus. And so I actually started out doing computer programming, software development, and that was a cool thing for me to do because you get to work on products and you get to actually be really deep in product, right? That's as deep in product and as far away from marketing as you can get because all you're doing is you're literally working with what goes on in the product actually behind the scenes. Like I wasn't, well, I did work on UI, kind of front end stuff, but a lot of the stuff that I actually did professionally was kind of like internals of the code, right? Backend type of stuff. Um, the code that's running behind the scenes was like deep in the product where there's no marketing of any kind. And so that's what I did for a while. But I then went out to start building my own startup products, right? And that's kind of where I ran into the marketing problem for the first time because I realized like, well, it's one thing to make something, but now you create a software. Like I could create a software, but now how do I get people to actually use this? And I remember my first early failed startups. I actually got to build product, but then I just wasn't ever able to get anybody to use the software. And what that did is illustrated to me that creating product is all well and good, but you gotta actually get users, and for that you need product marketing. And you guys, I hope this is something you take to heart, whether you're trying to sell a SaaS or an info product or e-commerce product. Is It's cool that you're passionate about your product. I get that. But now you need to focus on how do I get this product launched? How do I get customers? How do I get it in front of people? And so, I actually got a lot of influence from professional friends who happen to be marketers and business people that helped me out figure out like, okay, you gotta to do marketing, these are some of the ideas um, of the business side apart from product. And so I kind of got to learn that quite a lot more. And it kind of got me into that space, into that world. And I was very curious how to really do marketing. And so I kind of went on a multi-year study of this stuff. And before I knew it, I ended up actually being a marketing freelancer, a marketing consultant in the market. And, actually got the chance then to do a lot of copywriting, do a lot of landing page, writing, setup, and ended up doing a whole bunch of different product launches, helping people with copy or helping them with, selling a course or a membership program or an e-commerce product or different kinds of physical products, in all kinds of niches from like fitness to like, childcare, fashion, um, accessories, household goods, courses, and things like that. And it was kind of like a lot of things in a few short years, but it kind of got me to uh, look at and work with a lot of different kind of product selling businesses and product selling verticals. And I also happen to get a lot of value out of studying some of the marketing gurus out in the space. Like I've studied the work of Alex Becker, a big influence, Anik Singao, great marketers, Dan Henry, another great marketer. And you might tell from my one of my recent videos, I did a video on Sabri Subi and one of his lessons on direct response versus brand. So I've studied Sabri as well. I think he's a brilliant guy, a brilliant marketer. So I actually got a lot of input from those guys that helped me kind of put together what I was doing practically for my clients and be able to, to do a good job on that. And then, out of this whole thing, I was able to eventually craft, my own process, which is my seven-figure product launches process, which is really just a sequence of 12 big steps that you can take to sell any product online, whether it's an e-commerce offer, whether it's an info product like a course, or whether it's a software as a service package. This is the process is designed to cater to all those kinds of, as long as you have a product and you want to promote it online, there are 12 steps you can take. Some of them are easy and obvious, like social media marketing or email marketing. So those are two of the steps. But some of these things are, ninja growth hacks, like blog comments that you might, never even have heard of, but people have been using going back decades in the internet age, and that you can still use to this day. So there's a lot there in the seven-figure product launches process, but this was me literally looking at like kind of like everything I know about, promoting a product, marketing a product, getting it to sell online, across all these different types of industries and verticals. As long as we have a product, we want to promote it, we want to get buyers in. And then saying, okay, what are all the methods available that we can use? Now, some of them are really cool, but might be harder for everybody to use, like something like direct mail. So I didn't put that in the system. It's not part of the system because like it works. It's offline. You can integrate it to actually sell something from your online thing, but it's kind of a bit more complex. So I didn't put that in there. So I was kind of looking at that practicality of what is something that out of all the methods that work, what is most effective, and then of all those things, which of them are simple enough that virtually anybody can do this method and have a lot of success with it. Something like social media marketing or paid advertising, or email marketing. Those are kind of simple tactics, simple techniques, and those three are all part of the 12-part process. And those are kind of, so that's kind of the criteria. It's gotta be very effective, but it's also gotta be simple enough that you don't need to be like a master of marketing in order to be able to use it. And I actually eliminated some of the stuff, some of the real ninja stuff that I've personally come up with just for promoting my own things. I ended up actually eliminating and moving away from, just because it was kind of too complex for ordinary business people to actually be able to use and manage it. So I've ended up with the seven-figure product launches process that I personally adopt and use for my own stuff. Like I follow that process, like when promoting, but also, it's what I recommend. Like, if you're trying to launch something, it's a really good framework that is simple enough to use every day on any kind of product launch. And in that sense, it kind of reminds me of a mentor, marketing coach that I've taken his courses and been part of his programs, and that was Terry Dean. He kind of has this cool thing that he calls the golden glove, and his golden glove is a way to get direction and marketing strategy and tactical. It kind of covers everything you need to have success with online promotion as well. So that's kind of his system, and it's a way that he has simplified a lot of the marketing fundamentals that anybody needs. So my system kind of reminds me of that, although it might be, with 12 parts to it, it might be more complex. But trust me, I've made it as simple as possible. Like that's part of simplicity is part of the key. So that's what I have for you today, guys. And if you need some free resources to help you with your product launches and promoting your products, you can grab my free downloads. The links are in the description.